Today we're going to work on the basics of the headstand. So starting off facing away from the wall with your legs straight, put your index finger just the first knuckle where the heel is. And then you're going to step your feet to the wall as you put your elbows on the floor. Notice your hands are still lined up so the first knuckle is in that same place. Interlacing your fingers and placing the top of your head on the floor. From here you can step your feet up onto the wall. Now as you go into this position, really be aware your shoulders are lifting away from the floor as your elbows ground down. Feel that support in your forearms, and it's going to take the pressure off your neck. And you're not here with your shoulders collapsing downward. Okay? Instead, you want to feel them rising away from the earth. And if you can't do that, just keep your feet on the floor. You're much better off working on that, trying to feel your elbows grounding and your shoulders lifting with your feet on the floor, than coming up into a weighted position where it's even more difficult to make it happen. Notice you're here, you should feel light. Your head should be able to lift, maybe an inch or two off the earth there. It should feel light and easy. The pressure is not on your neck. The weight is all in your forearms. Your shoulders are lifted high. Spend some time working on that position, but once you've got it, feel free to face the wall and look, you're going to jump up so that your hips come over your shoulders. Notice you're not jumping your feet up. You jump your hips over your shoulders and then come up. And feel free to put your feet on the wall. Once you're here, bending your knees and just putting your feet on the wall there, you're trying to bring your body into a nice straight line. Notice you can lift one leg up toward the sky, and as you ground with your forearms, your shoulders rise away from the earth. You're not here with both your legs straight and just leaning on the wall like this. This collapses into the lower back, and you're not going to get any sense of how to lift and extend upward. So instead, work with the bent knees and just start to engage in the core and feel that lift out of your shoulders, out of your back, drawing you upward. This is the same position, the same weighted support that you're going to have when you're up in the headstand. After you've spent some time there, feel free to come down and take a rest. Now, work that for a while, but when you feel ready, you might try working without the wall, or at least trying to take your feet off the wall. From here, again, same position, interlacing the fingers. And notice that you're going to tuck the little finger on the inside there. As you take your hands on the floor, the elbows are shoulder distance apart. Top of your head is on the floor. And once again, same thing. As you ground with your forearms, feel your shoulders. Look not here, but lift it high away from the earth. Grounding there, keeping the weight off your neck. Now, if you're ready, you can start to work on going up a little bit more slowly. Look, the heels tilt away from the floor, and you can step your feet forward slightly. Again, tilt with your heels, and notice what happens to the hips. They move in the same direction. So your legs are straight, and your hips move as your heels move. What happens here is that the weight comes over your forearms, and so your legs become light and easy. They just start to float off the floor. Don't kick your feet up once they're off the floor. Instead, just feel your hips moving. You'll be tempted to try to take your feet up, but it's your hips that move. If your feet move, you just fall back down again because you're not in the right balance point. Once you're up there again, you're going to firm with your core, ground with your forearms, and feel yourself lifting away from the earth. And remember, you may be facing the wall at this point. It's a good idea, especially in the beginning. Right? Your core is engaged, your legs are engaged, you're extending upward away from the floor. And that extension begins in your shoulders. It's that same lift there, but it continues up through your spine, lifting and extending and feeling there's a lightness in your shoulders. So they're light and easy, your head is light. Notice that you're not going to arch your back like this. Now, this is probably what you're doing in the beginning, okay? And it's really difficult to avoid it. You just sort of sit in the lower back, and you might even be able to balance, but there's no control. Instead, engage your core. Let your tailbone move toward your feet. And feel that. It's a continuation of that same lift in your rib cage up toward your feet as your feet extend upward. If you sit into your lower back like that, you're never going to be able to control the position. You may be able to balance, but you're not going to be able to move and work other positions there. So see if you can get a sense of that strength in your core and that extension upward once you're in the headstand. And eventually you'll feel really stable and secure there. Maybe you get a sense of how you can lift and be light, and start to float your head away from the earth as well, one day.